I have been negotiating a lot of things and over my life and free trade negotiation and the G20 communique, but I think taking this new job really gives me a lot of things and happening. And Yost already said we had a lot of things happen, and personally we had a lot of things happen. And before before this main session, and also Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today is the last day and also second day of our IHF Finance Forum. And so there are a lot of things, and I think it's very much the good side of the story. And this good side of the story is about how this new financial technology and also how this inclusive finance is being contributed by this new digital trends and technology. And so let me say, before I give you the recap, and I think it is very fine and great moment to express my greatest appreciation to all of my bosses above my pay grade, and also all of my wonderful colleagues and helping out and to make us reach this second day and also the last day of the conference. And thank you so very much, and to my wonderful FSG Financial Sector Group team members. And you guys are really great. And also, I really want to say thank you to all of your the wonderful the speakers, and did not spare efforts to share your experience and knowledge and insights. And let me just give you the quick recap and what we have done so far. And yesterday, as you know, we had a very good welcoming speech, and our BP Vice President of our Knowledge Management Minister, Bang Susantono, shared with us what we are trying to do is to find ways to tap the full potential that digital financial solutions offer while balancing the risk it creates. And also we have our the keynote session, and Rama Sridhar, Executive Vice President of MasterCard, got the sessions and started with I think it's very thought-provoking speech, and looking at how we can reach the people and firms that remain unbanked, as well as businesses that have yet to embrace digitalization. And among the day's valuable presentation, the first session looked at inclusive finance through fintech innovation. The discussion made clear that to expand inclusive finance, it is crucial to establish public-private collaboration. Also build trust in the solution among the poor, create customer-centric solutions, and provide regulatory assurance protecting customers. In the second session, panelists look at the need for digital literacy to broaden access to finance in rural communities for women and also other vulnerable groups in the society. And one of the salient points of the session was the importance of making digital literacy stick after training or education that is sustainable. And we heard in the next session, meanwhile, and about several ADB pilot projects that demonstrate best practice and also some good points and innovation. And one common theme expressed by participants is that in implementing such project, it is crucial to remain adaptable to circumstances on the ground and to adjust. And in a special session, and Debbie Schreier of MIT and presented the FinTech Toolkit. And I was dragged into other meetings, and actually, so I kind of skipped this one. So yesterday, I looked at the presentation, and also I looked at the video, actually. And yesterday evening, I mean. And he actually shared the policy ideas and provided meaningful outcomes. It was really great. And he also looked at how central banks and government of Commonwealth nations can respond to fintech disruptions. In the first of our breakout sessions, and we have 3 breakout sessions yesterday, and I actually I actually got into all 3 sessions, but I sat through specifically one session. And we heard about the first one, the first session of the breakout session, an interoperable payment system, new payment systems which are integral to establishing a cashless society needs to be instantaneous and irrevocable. In the second breakout session, the title was really great. It says, Bravo, Brave New Lending, right? I think I was right, Brave New Lending. And it was very sexy and provocative title. Maybe that's the reason I sat through throughout the session. And the new P2P lending platforms and participants discussed how digital technologies are allowing lenders to use alternative digital data, alternative scorings, and that was very informative and also a very good learning opportunity to everybody. And this was in turn making previously invisible people, and that is without credit histories, visible and credit worthy in turn. And we discussed how to sustain business models and catering to small and medium-sized companies, and also the unbanked people. And we also discussed efficiency and stability issues related to the P2P lending and also appropriate regulatory environment. And finally, on microinsurance, and it was confirmed that insurance was integral to financial inclusion and leads to financial security. Moreover, technology is a means to package insurance with the credit and additional services, and including faster payments by anticipating losses, and this is building trust and improving penetration. The day ended with a digital financial marketplace. That was really great, and I have been jumping around, and I also sat in one session. It was very interactive, and also it has a lot of learning opportunity and sharing what the entrepreneur or innovators are doing. It featured the offerings of the several private fintech companies to allow us to learn about what's available in the market. I was also impressed by the active participation. Actually, I don't see anybody without asking questions, and they really got into the discussion and interactive discussion with the presenter of innovative companies and each other. And finally, allow me to extend congratulations to Ascenso. It's a fintech company for its win in the Innovative Challenge Hackathon on Wednesday. And the firm was one of the 3 finalists in the challenge that featured many excellent ideas for using digital technologies to help poor farmers in the agriculture. You know, we successfully finished the hackathon, that's the Tuesday. So this one was really the good opportunity and for connecting this fintech and to the farmers in terms of the business and operations. This one, I think, I did my best and to take a good recap, but I'm not sure Keisuke is drawing up about this recap time also. So let's see how he's going to draw up. I did not pressure you, Keisuke, and thank you very much. And if I miss any point, very important you think, and we can share also later. And just forgive me if I miss anything, which is very important. You want to emphasize. And also, right now, we are supposed to have our DG, Director General, Mr. Woo Chung-um, and to give us opening remarks. But his mission schedule was suddenly changed, so he had to take a flight yesterday night. So, on behalf of him, and then let me give this opening remarks to you. So, is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a packed agenda today, as well as we had during the last couple of days. But I'm sure that you will find a lot of interesting things also today. And narrowing the digital divide will remain a fundamental need with increased mobile phone ownership and internet penetration being critical factors in supporting consumer adoption of mobile financial services. Indeed, an accurate measure of success for fintech and will be in how much it helps one's poor farmers to bring crops to market, and how it helps more shopkeepers and grow their businesses, or whether it can provide the seed money for a young entrepreneur to turn a great idea into reality. And the opening session of the day will look at the increasing buzz around central bank digital currencies, the so-called CBDC, and whether they can ensure a more stable financial system. And it remains unclear just whether these digital currencies can boost financial inclusion. However, with some central banks willing to consider them, and they are an important area for discussion. And following will be a close look at the crucial issue of the cybersecurity. As digital financial solutions proliferate, it is important that we are prepared for the risk involved, and we must look at how to use data and technology. And to reduce risk, to be concerned whether our data is safe and cloud-based services. The breakout sessions today, meanwhile, will explore the exciting potential that digital ID solutions offer, including for expediting KYC, know your customers, procedures, and onboarding new clients. Faster, more efficient processes will lower cost to businesses and encourage broader access to their services. Simultaneous sessions will look at SubTech and RegTech and the growing role of regulatory sandboxes in testing new digital solutions. The final session of the day will look at the new private sector business that are disrupting the financial service industry. By bringing fintech to the last mile, their business models could greatly expand the reach of financial services to the poor. On this note, and I wish you all an enriching day and the best of business and the digital economy. And up next, and we have an excellent keynote speech by Nick Hughes of M-COPA and M-PESA, looking at the fine balance that needs to be struck between risk and innovation. Thank you so very much. I hope you enjoyed a great day today. Thanks.
Thank you very much for this excellent retrospective. So everybody has now a summary of yesterday, and on behalf of Wuchong, you also get the outlook for today. So you already heard the name actually of our keynote speaker. Every day we have one keynote speaker who sets the scene, and he doesn't need much introduction. If financial inclusion is your thing, you know him. At least you have heard about his work. He's a co-founder of M-COPA and the father of M-PESA. He has been involved in emerging markets for over 15 years, pioneering digital fintech solutions that solve real problems. So, for example, as the co-founder and chief product officer at M-COPA, they provide clean energy and financial services to more than 750,000 customers in East Africa. He was also the global head of payment solutions at Vodafone Group, where in 2003 he started the groundbreaking mobile payment service M-PESA, and also is a founding member of Bcash. But what was the most interesting for me, I don't know if anybody watches James Bond, and James Bond got from the Queen the Order of the British Empire. Now it's the first time I'm announcing someone who got the Order of the British Empire for his innovation work in Africa, so a real person. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Nick Hughes.
to see what differences can be made for people on low income with digital finance. So this timeline makes me feel very old, but and again, I'm sharing this really because some of what we went through in the very early days of M-Pesa, I think we need to keep doing that experimentation now, because for me, it's all about learning. So it's well known, we had a grant to start M-Pesa, and me and the team spent 2.5 years trying to figure out how to build a microfinance platform. So I've said this before publicly, we actually got it wrong. We built a very complicated platform that allowed a microfinance institute to lend to a group of consumers. The consumer could pay the treasurer and pay the MFI back. And what happened over the course of the trial, because of digital technology, we could see the transactions that those consumers were doing, that these were the microfinance customers. They started to send each other money. So instead of loading money in and repaying their loan, they started loading money into their wallets and sending it to each other. And so suddenly, we thought, hang on a minute, we've built this very complicated system, and yet all these people want to do is send each other small amounts of money. No, it wasn't, sometimes it's, you think it might be an epiphany moment or a lightning strike, and you think, oh, there's M-Pesa. But it was only through observing that real behavior, because it was digital, that we started understanding what people really wanted to do with a mobile wallet. And so we turned off all that functionality, and we launched a person-to-person product, P2P. There's a brilliant television commercial, you can still find it on YouTube, and it's all about send money home. That was the only marketing line that we used for M-Pesa, send money home. And before we knew it, we had millions of customers signing up to the P2P model. Now, of course, as we went through that trial phase, and to the regulators and the central banks in the room, this was really important. We had to get the central bank comfortable with what that wallet did. So we had to prove to them the customer's funds were protected. Again, many of you might know this, but Safaricom does not touch the float. That's in a holding company, it's ring-fenced. Safaricom or Vodafone can never touch that float money, and they make no money off the interest in that float. The revenue, the $740 million revenue, is all transaction-based revenue, but the customer's funds are always protected. That was one big important item for the central bank. So nobody could interfere with those funds, or if Safaricom got into trouble, the funds were protected. Secondly, every shilling in a wallet is matched by a shilling in a bank account somewhere. So there is no new currency created. M-Pesa is just an electronic interpretation of the customer or the agent's money that's in a bank account. And so lots of things, that I'm summarizing what was a sort of an 18-month exercise here. But the central bank got comfortable with what M-Pesa was and why the customer's funds were protected. And then, of course, we started to layer on top of the basic proposition international remittances, bill payment, ATMs. The banks started to come on board, having sort of fought with us for a little bit. The banks came on board and started using M-Pesa as a channel. And today, of course, it's all based around the app and the smartphones, which didn't exist when we started M-Pesa, really. And you see a truly mobile commerce ecosystem in Kenya today. But the main point here is that early phase, that experimentation phase. And there are things today which I still believe we need to experiment with, and these are blockchain, crypto, digital ledgers. We don't yet understand the impact of these things, but a little bit like wallets 15 years ago, unless we're prepared to roll our sleeves up and test a few things out, we'll never really understand how we can use them to redesign financial services. So that's my key message. Let's keep experimenting. M-Pesa came from a period of experimentation. Let's keep doing that with some of the new technologies which are coming through around blockchain and crypto. Good. So that's lesson number one. Let's keep experimenting. If you could pause the video before this. There's a chance you could pause that for me? I could go back. Okay. So I'm going to change tack now into lesson number 2, and this is the blurring of lines between sectors. So this is sometimes a bit tricky. I'm going to ask you to think about energy access now. In sub-Saharan Africa, 600 million people, 600 million, do not have access to the grid. I mean, that's we should all be embarrassed really that our infrastructure technology has not delivered power to so many people. And those people spend an awful lot of money every day buying kerosene or paraffin or running a diesel generator. But it doesn't, when you think about digital finance, we can actually change that completely. And so this is what we're doing at MCOPA now. And COPA, by the way, means to borrow. So I've got a very short video, which I'm hoping will play now, and it'll explain what MCOPA does. Okay.
got my MCOPA light 5 days ago. MCOPA will have saved me a lot of money. It's cheaper because of the sunlight. And after getting it, I'll have put on the paraffin.